Hello, good evening, and welcome to today's episode of Tell Me About It, TMAI. Well, today, as you can see, or as you can hear, it is Esi K here, and I'm actually starting the whole thing, and I would be introducing Dominic. So we're doing something different, which is opposite of what we do every day. So Dominic, today I get a chance to ask you, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing so great. I'm doing great because I'm happy you're introducing me.
Like for the first time, I get to introduce Dominic. For those of us who are not familiar with the show, Tell Me About It is a show where we talk about almost everything and nothing at the same time. So it is a show which is essential for both you and I. So make sure you tune in and then listen. Get through to listen to the end. Just don't make jaw quiet so you bob. Yeah.
All right.
For today, we are going to discuss or rant about the topic: what are the benefits and effects of being a bilingual or a multilingual? Dominic, are you a bilingual or a multilingual?
I think it's a bi.
By two languages?
Yeah.
Okay, first let's define the word so we just get to it.
All right.
So a bilingual, according to the dictionary, refers to a person who speaks only two languages, and then a multilingual is a person who speaks more than two languages.
Okay.
So where do you fall, a bilingual or a multilingual?
I still I'm a bi.
Whoa, what are the two languages?
A bit of English and Akan.
Akan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're an Akan.
Yeah. I'm a Buno man.
Oh. Manasa Pangawa. Well, I can't say I'm a bilingual because I speak more than two languages. I think I speak English, Chi. Fancy if it's not a dialect, because it falls under the Akan umbrella, and then Ga. Yeah, Ga.
Okay.
And then there are some foreign languages I'm trying to study on my own, such as Korean, Hangul, and then Espanol, Spanish, and then the French. I've studied it since kindergarten, but then I still can't get my head around it. So obviously, it's not a language for me. Okay.
Wow. Then you trying. I think I'm very bad at it. You know.
The languages.
Yeah.
But you know,
very
I think
bad.
Ghanaians naturally are either bilinguals or multilinguals, because I speak more languages. You speak at least two languages. To communicate in Ghana, you either speak
I don't think that when you say at least. Just two.
It's not two.
I'm not two. I think it's 1.5.
Oh, but you can still communicate. Someone can speak. Like being able to communicate, I feel should mean that you can speak the language. Anna.
Anyway.
And then just like that, oh.
Oh my God. So I'm happy to know at least I can speak one. If you say at least one, I'll be glad.
But my country is out here.
Yeah,
then you speak.
So I don't know where you're watching us from. I don't know where you're listening. If you speak any other language, okay, apart from your local dialect, okay, you let us know. I don't know if you're multilingual or you're
a bilingual.
Okay, but for me, is there anything before the bi?
Yeah, there's monolingual. Someone who speaks only one language.
Okay, well, what is between that? All right, so there's none between the two. I think that's where I fall.
Then okay.
Yeah, between one and.
Then I also fall between bilingual and then multilingual. But no, I think I speak a good amount of Ga, because yeah.
Wow, you see.
I studied it with, when you're in Ghana or when you're on the Ghana land and then you're in school, high school, it's kind of compulsory for you to study the Ghana language as part of the course. And because of the whole surrounding things, you end up picking the language here and there.
Right.
And my mom used to speak the Ghana with her brother. When they are accounts, I'm even amazed at their way of thinking. So
All right, so I guess you picked from them.
Yeah.
But for me, my mom, my dad, we all speak on one.
One.
Yeah, is it
Monolinguals.
that Bono or Ashanti, and then maybe you push yourself to speak the English. So we're pushing ourselves to speak the English. But
The English is because is should I call it a universal language in Ghana? Oh no, wait, there's this colonial word for it. What's the name?
we've been forced to do that thing.
So, I'm looking for a very nice way to say that. I said I'm going.
So we've been pushed to speak the English. So
yeah.
we will try.
It's not like a compulsory. Your Friday will be beautiful. Anyway, I've forgotten. But then, it's like as a compulsory language, every Ghanaian has to study. Even in our curriculum, we don't use Tree to teach us or Ga. We just use English in teaching. So
yeah. If in my next age I become a politician, I'll push for that. That we use our local dialect. Yeah.
I think they are trying to push for it, but then because the whole Ghana is more like a multilingual country, it makes it difficult for you to say that you are choosing this language over the other. Because if you pick, let's say, Ewe, what happens to those who do not speak Ewe? It becomes a whole different thing. So the English. If you're an Ewe, if you're an Akan, wherever you come from, you are forced to study another language in addition to yours. So I'm not against it, but then I would love for it to be used at least, because I can't write, I can only speak the language and then all that. Apart from guys studied in school, the Chi, I just speak the language. I can't read.
So that means in my next stage, if I want to become a politician, just because of this, I wouldn't have had any votes. Bad. All right, so that's how we start the show. So she started her show, and I've stolen part of it. So I just want to hand over to her. All right, so let's roll.
So since we've defined the bilingual, multilingual, whatever it is, you realize that of late, as humans, because of the whole global thing, we are all trying to, or majority, if not most, minority, some are trying to pick or add languages to what they already speak. And then, in fact, apparently from research, half of the world's populations, it's either bilingual or multilingual. So for today's show, we are going to talk about the benefits of being either a bilingual or multilingual, and then if you are monolingual, what you're missing out, which I doubt, but if you are monolingual, you are missing out something, because we are benefiting as bilinguals. And I think by default, I kind of became bilingual. I didn't have to learn another language in addition, because your parents are speaking Tree to you, you go to school, they're speaking English to you. So through like childhood, I ended up picking up 2 languages, if not for anything, and then the compulsory Ga, which I had to pick up. So, and then the additional Korean and Spanish I've carried on my head like something different. So yeah.
All right. But I think someone is asking a question here. Priscilla is asking, how much did I miss?
We're just starting, but you didn't miss that much. We are just talking about bilingual, being a bilingual and a multilingual. So you didn't miss much, but you just missed out the definitions, and then you can just go back when we are done with the show. So stick with us to the end, and then go back to check out what you missed out.
All right. So Priscilla, if you're lucky, maybe I might push her to bring those ones out. All right, so you know what we're talking about. You can share with us in the comment section. If you're doing the listening on radio, you can do same, okay, by sending to WhatsApp 0543-829571. Today is Esi's show.
So for the first benefits of being a bilingual or a multilingual, apparently, according to research, this is not from me, according to research, it increases the brain power. So when I say by increasing brain power, it means that when you learn a new language, it becomes a great way to keep your brain healthy and then sharp. And then if you're a bilingual or multilingual, it can help you as a person to multitask. Because when I'm speaking to someone who is an account, I would have to change my dialect to Chi or Fanti. And I realized that even at the workplace, depending on how the person approaches me, if it's a Kapim Chi, if it's Fancy, I just change my intonation, and then the person, so if the person says Otiden, then I'll just change and I'll reply in Fancy. If the person says it's a saying, then I also change and just go along with the way it is. So I'm forced to multitask and then switch between the languages. So as a bilingual and multilingual, you are able to multitask and do two things at the same time, which is very great, because being able to multitask, it means you can do like something and then do something another thing. So like killing birds with one stone, doing two things. And then apparently it also you gain attention control, like you become attentive because of you're trying to figure out two things. So when someone is even mixing two languages, you understand, you'll be surprised you understand, like you are able to grasp the whole thing fully because you understand both languages. And then you become a problem solving and creative person because it promotes your thinking. You begin to think outside the box because you are speaking two different languages or three or more different languages. So being a bilingual will help you improve your memory, which I don't know how true it is because I have a very, very bad memory. I barely remember things. But then, according to the research, it helps you to remember people's names. So I'd have to test it out since I don't know about that, because I know I'm very bad at remembering people's faces.
All right. I'm laughing here because some of the things she's saying, I don't know if I should say I'm confirming or I'm about to confirm. All right. So you're telling me a lot today. Then it means I'm missing something. So Priscilla, you did not miss anything. I'm the one missing something. I'm missing a lot because anyway, I'm sure by the end of the show I'll know what to do.
You may decide to add another language. Who knows? You can just think, who knows? Maybe I should be a language teacher. Who knows?
I think that would be great. Yeah, that would be great. So wherever you are, you can be a part of the program, be a part of the show by sending in your comments. Okay, you can share with us via WhatsApp 0543295571. If you're watching on if you're doing the watching on YouTube, you can share with us in the chat session. We're talking about languages today. All right.
So another advantage or benefit of being a bilingual or multilingual is that it increases your awareness of other cultures. So when you are bilingual, it exposes you as an individual to the different kind of culture, ideas, and perspective from people's culture, which I believe or I agree to this point, because as a bilingual myself, I realize that I get some bits of advantages when I go to a community where I speak the language. So when I was selling, I remember some 2 years or 3 years ago or 4 years, I don't remember, but I was selling this main stuffy, and then I went to Jamestown. And one thing I realized about Ghanaians is that they refuse to speak like another language which is not like the Ghan language. So I was compelled to speak the little Ghan I knew. And then people, they weren't even interested in buying, but because of the Ghan I spoke, they would just I mean, I'm like, oh yeah. Then you just realize that I'm selling, and then not because of anything, but because we are speaking like one language, and then they are buying from me because to them I'm like one of them because I'm speaking the language. And when my colleagues were like, I can't speak Ghana, like, well, you're Ghana machine, but you're on the Ghana, you can't speak the whole Ghana, so it became a whole thing. So it increases your awareness of other cultures because you're able to blend in effortlessly because of the language you speak. For instance, today was like a typical example. I was sitting in a vehicle with some people. I don't even know if they're listening now. I felt so lost with the whole language. They were like, what is this? And for the first time, I felt like studying that language. I was like, gosh, this is my next step. This is the target for the next language. So I feel like the language really increases your awareness of like other cultures. Because if I speak one language, let's say if I go to the northern region and I speak their language, I become like part of them, despite the fact that tribally or ethically I'm not one of them. So it's another point. And another point is that it can give children like an academic advantage. This I don't know. This is according to the research. So apparently studies have shown that the bilingual children can outperform the monolingual children in a number of subject areas. And then the effect of bilingualism helps the children in like educational development, cognitive function, social skills, literacy, and then like emotional skills. And I think all this, as a person, when you're bilingual, it giving you an advantage is, as let's take social skills for instance. We are in a social setting. When I'm speaking English, which we all understand, and then suddenly someone realizes that, oh, you're fancy, you are this, and the person is speaking your language. Socially, you've been able to link to the person on an emotional level where you're able to speak freely because you're like, okay, she's one of me, so definitely it's not going to be any big deal. And even when you go to the market and then you're going to buy something, you realize that the way you are related to, depending on the language you speak, is so something. I actually conducted a research on that, and it was see people communicate with me differently because of the languages I find myself speaking. So yeah.
All right. Talking about languages, connecting the people.
Yeah.
I did my service at Ada.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when I went, all the guys there were surprised. But you came from Accra, you cannot speak Ga, and the Dangwe is a mixture of the Ga and Ewe.
Yeah.
And they were shocked. You don't understand anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to teach me. And know how they were teaching me. They were teaching me by insulting.
So typical. Apparently, to get a language right, you're supposed to know the insults. So
yeah. And to be frank, I don't even remember any of the insults.
But do you know that the Ghana language is so similar to the Krobo, and then the other languages that you don't need to understand those languages, or you don't need to speak them to even understand. So when someone is speaking the Krobo, you realize that, I understand what this person is trying to say, but I don't speak the Krobo language. I think it goes for Akantu. You understand the fancy, unless they add the typical ones, and you're like, okay, I am lost with this one.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so which one is saying that? Oh, network. Oh, sorry, bro. So today we're talking about languages. It's not easy. It's not easy. Talking about languages. I think you made some very important and critical points. Talking about some children having advantage in terms of academic. It's true. For example, if you're teaching someone culture, like you're doing social studies,
assimilation,
and then you have to deal with the culture of some people, and you understand their language. The moment they mention that, you try to connect
exactly.
So I think that point is I'll side with that point. It's also true. All right, so I don't know what you also okay, so Courage Hector is saying Esi K is on fire. I think it's true. She's on fire this evening. I just wanted to steal a part of the show, but hey, as someone will say, who am I? Who I am. Okay. So today we're talking about languages. You can share yours if you have any experience. I don't know if someone has ever bullied you with the language before, but if you have that experience, share with us, okay? But for now,
my friends do all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You realize that you are with them, and I feel like you are with them, and they know very well that when they speak English, you'd all understand. I don't know if it's gossiping. I don't even know how to frame. You realize that suddenly you are like, oh, they're like, where am I? They are just speaking one particular language, like they are Ewes.
Yeah.
So they are speaking the Ewe, and then there are three.
Yeah.
So the three of them are speaking the Ewe, and then I think for like a moment they forget that I'm not an Ewe. And then they're speaking the language, and then they are laughing and all that, and I'm like,
mostly you try to make it fun.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you gossiping about me? Are you talking about me? Is it me you're talking about?
Oh my god. So if you're not joining us, you're welcome. This is PenyGH, and we're live also on Peny Radio. This is Tell Me About It with Esi K, and today we're talking about languages. Okay, so I'll not steal your show. Have it all.
Okay, so the next one the next benefit is that it makes traveling easier and then more enjoyable. So for instance, like the languages I've picked up, like the Korean and then the Spanish, should I find myself traveling for like a month, a week, whatever it is, or a business, like who knows, to the Korean, like Korea, South Korea, or to, let's say, Mexico City, Spain, or whatever it is, because of the languages I've picked up, just meeting someone and say, and then I say, or the, like, just that can, like, make it more enjoyable, because they're like, oh, you understand, okay, they don't have to struggle to speak like another language. They can be comfortable speaking their own language, and then realize that the barrier just gets broken, because language creates this kind of barrier between two countries, people, and then all that. So immediately you as an individual is able to speak their language, realize that you break that barrier, and then there's this whole connectivity, and then so if you aspire to be a global person, I believe learning language is a must. If you want to be like a global person, traveling here and there, having fun and all that, having an additional language, I feel like it's a must, because if you speak Spanish or French, which our country tries to make us be, in fact our country by force, we have to learn French since childhood. Even at university I'm studying French, but then I use it to write exams, obviously. So if you want to travel, studying like French or other language is a must, because it makes it more fun. Imagine you're looking for like the washroom, and then you're like, let's say, okay, I'm in Korea right now, I'm looking for the washroom, like, where's the bathroom, where's the washroom? And then the person says, the person goes, and I'm really in a hurry. I can just break the barrier, and then I just tap someone and like, how can I get so? And immediately I do that, the person's like, oh, like the person just points out. So you realize that it just breaks the whole barrier. So language has its own barrier that can be broken immediately you speak another person's language. Even bringing it to the whole Ghana with our multilingual stuff. If I go to the Ghana community, like I said, immediately I go there and I start speaking the Ghana, and then I'm able to sell like much of my things, although I'm no longer selling. So it was quite easier and fun.
It should be.
To think of it.
It should be, but I'm trying to link this with some funny video I saw. I think the guy was trying to ask for a direction to a place, okay, and the guy started speaking English, and the lady tried giving the direction, okay. The lady, you go straight, you climb mountain, then Otichi. He said, no, I don't speak. Just say, hey, obey Irache. So if you don't want to Irache, then I think it's a good thing to learn that. Speaking of French, I've never done French in my life. It was just the university that when I was registering, okay, I gave my sheet to a friend. Okay, and I said, a moment, I'm coming. And when I came, the guy
has a French.
Yeah, when he said, he heard that, oh, I want to do a computer science, the guy started registering courses for me and registered French. So the first time we were visiting the French class, we got a bit closer and we heard tout le monde. So I said, we are coming to sing, and then say, I'm off. So that is it. Throughout my life, I've never done French.
I was compulsory. I think if I had I don't want to say my teachers were bad, but then if they had encouraged us in a very nice way, I think I would have been able to pick up the French language like I picked the Ghana. Because the French teachers are so strict, they're always caning you, and then you're like, and to part français, if you say no, they just tell you to come and read something on the phone. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est. This sounds like, if you're not able to read it, you realize that you're being lashed. So if they had encouraged us in a very nice way, I believe majority of us in Ghana could speak, because we learn French like JHS, SHS, and then I'm still doing it in the university. Yet, like I just have to take a French book to read it to understand. But for someone to speak for me to understand this French, oh no. Or for like a short period, or for like exams, like for that particular week, I become like a French scholar, and after it's gone.
I think we have some interesting comments here. I want to read them. And I want to read by looking at the person who those who sent. All right, so Nanajo Kumsi said, being a bilingual or multilingual helps a lot. And I've had such experiences. And then this is coming from, okay, so Nanajo again says, I'm currently self-studying Korean, and it feels really good when I'm able to understand certain words I hear in pop and dramas.
I get it.
Yeah, K-pop.
Yeah, K-pop.
Yeah, and dramas. And then Priscilla is saying that being a bilingual or multilingual has a lot of advantages. What is chinka?
Well, let me look at it. Probably it's not. Maybe you're not pronouncing it.
Or what?
What is it? Chincha. Really? Like really? She said that really has.
Oh, okay.
Chincha has a really.
All right. So Derek is saying nice outfit, guys. Oh, thank you.
Oh, gracias.
All right.
Today we are talking about language, so I'm expressing in so many languages.
Yeah. And you are leaving me behind.
You have to really join.
Okay. All right. So if you're not joining, like let me see who's not joining. Derek, right? Derek is not joining. You're welcome, and today we're talking about languages. Okay, it's been a wonderful moment. So Derek, you've missed about 35 solid minutes. Ooh. Okay, don't worry, you'll catch up. All right. So what else can we learn? Because
we can talk about the fact that if you're bilingual and multilingual, it improves your competitiveness when it comes to the job market, because you realize that of late it's quite difficult to get a job. So now so many petty things you might not take into consideration would be used to select people. So being able to speak another language in addition to yours is like a plus. And even because imagine I'm supposed to go in for a job as a salesperson, and then on my CV I can speak English, which is a global whatever language it is. I can speak like 3 additional local languages or like 4 additional local languages, and I can speak, let's say, Spanish or something else. Already they know that I would be able to communicate with the people, whoever comes in, depending on from like whatever background it is. I'll be able to communicate with the person, and it's all about communication. So you realize that I may be picked as compared to someone who writes only English. So it improves like the competitiveness in the job market. So like, and then there's this sense of joy when you're able to speak another language. I don't know, you feel like a sense of belongingness because you are communicating with people, and then when people realize that you are speaking that language, they come to you on their level, and then they treat you as part of their family or as one of them. So like speaking a second language can provide more job opportunities depending on the kind of language you speak as well, like I said. And then communicating in the workplace is very important, and then the more companies, especially with the international offices, would want bilinguals and multilinguals to be in their companies, since they are going to communicate more. So if you find yourself in a company with not only English, but then which company, let's say Samsung. Samsung is a Korean company. So if you find yourself in a Samsung company, and then you're supposed to be like the public relation officer, and then you're supposed to liaise with the Korean whatever it is, since you can speak Korean, it becomes effortless. You don't need to pick a translator. So you realize that you'll be picked as compared to someone who doesn't have like the Korean background. So whatever it is, learning another language is quite chill.
All right. So eventually I'll have to. All right. So I don't know who else is. So what advice will you, a person that loves languages but have a low self-confidence esteem? Okay. I think I'll have to take it again.
Okay, I think the person is trying to ask, what advice would I give to someone who loves languages, but then the person has a low self-esteem?
Oh, okay.
Well, one thing about languages is that really you need the confidence and then the self-esteem. Because imagine, for instance, I own how well am I that like what I'm speaking is very correct or something. So I need the confidence to speak with someone who is a native or speak the language to make, because if I don't make mistakes, I'm definitely not going to find out like the correct one.
Yeah.
So like the Gang community like this, I was able to learn the typical into those Gang from those people, because I was making so many mistakes. And then that really brings them out to like help you. When someone realizes that you are learning their language, there's this kind of love they show you, and then they are willing and ever ready to teach you the language, if you as a person learning is ever ready. So I think you have to look within yourself and then find out the reason you are studying the other language, or you are, because you can't just say that I'm picking another language because I want to pick another language. Usually when you add a reason to whatever you do, no matter where you go, if you feel lost and you go back to the reason, you're able to pick up from wherever you left off. So if you find it difficult studying another language, or if you have low self-esteem, you can contact our counselors, contact me. When it comes to language, I'm ever willing, ready to help you out.
So this is, do you say free consultancy?
Yeah.
Or maybe you should pass through me. Who want to, let me check. Nanajua Kumsi. So Nanajua, it will me. So I'll just give you a job card. All right. So today we're talking about language, and I'm not feeling comfortable now
because I said you speak 2 languages for you to understand Chi.
No, because
like you don't understand.
No, but you know, a gentleman just walked in, and he speaks. How many languages do you speak? He speaks like 5 languages.
Local or international?
Yeah,
local.
2 international and 5 local. So
even I have my jaw agape.
Okay, so I am not feeling comfortable. The place is too hot. Please, can you? Oh my God. So please, all right. So I'm going to do this. It's a show, but I want to steal this. So please, you have to vote. Each of them, you can speak how many?
I speak a little bit of Korean, Spanish. Those are the international. The Spanish, I think I'll give it elementary.
Okay.
And then the Korean, I'll give it advanced, beginner, almost intermediate.
Okay.
And then English, I think I'm almost advanced.
Okay.
Yes. And then those are the international languages. And then with the local ones, I would take Chi.
Okay.
And then Fancy is a language, right?
Yeah, you can say yeah.
So Chi, France. Yeah. No, I'm trying to wonder if they all fall under the account number, and then they're from different parts of those. So Chi, Fancy, and then Ga.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3. 3.
3.
Local.
So for you 6.
Yeah.
And for you 7.
Yeah, for him 7.
All right. So that's what we do. You're teaching me to too. Okay. So if it's a yes, you. Okay. Someone say yeah. Okay. Okay, Nanajo, I'm not sure you're responding to each of them teaching me too, but I've taken that one as part of it. So, all right. So, what else? What else is a benefit?
Well, another benefit is that if you're able to speak 2 languages, it makes it easier for you to speak a 3rd language. So, because you already speak 2 languages, picking up another language is not hard. Because your mind is already used to the multitasking nature, and then it becomes quite easier for you to pick another language in addition. So being a bilingual or a multilingual is great. And then another thing is that you can, as a bilingual or multilingual, you can raise your kids to become bilingual and multilinguals, because as you're raising them, you realize that you speak either Chi or whatever language you understand, you speak it with the children, and as they go, they end up speaking the language you speak with them. So the kids, like I said, by default, like me, I was speaking 2 or 3 languages since by default to become a bilingual as a child. And apparently it helps you to have a mental your mental health becomes stronger for like longer, because the recent studies shows that people's brain age slower, and like if you're bilingual, you have like a low chance of having this Alzheimer's disease or dementia because of the way your mind is. So it becomes an advantage. And when I talk about Alzheimer's disease, the forgetfulness, being able to like forgetting and dementia, like that's a real fear. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So everything is showing that you need to talking about anti-aging. Okay, beating the age.
Yeah.
Some of us want to live long. Okay. Forget about the beard, minye. Just. So I'm going to speak. So I'm learning to each from them. All right. So today is interesting. We're talking about languages. Okay. And I don't know if you have any experience. I think Nanajwa is asking, when and where do I pick it up? The job card. Don't worry, maybe was happy.
Oh my God.
Okay, and Nanajwa, Fanti is part of the account language. All right, thank you for the correction. I speak 5 local languages. What am I? Mensan Selassie.
What are you? You are multilingual.
Multi.
Yeah, because bi is 2. Mono is 1. Okay. Multi is like times. Okay.
So Selassie, I told you you're my friend. Don't worry. So those of you who are in between 1 and then 2, if you are in between,
since you're the only person in between 1 and 2. Because so far,
yeah, they are all speaking like 3, 4.
Yeah.
5, 6. Okay, then I speak Bruno. I speak Asantichi. I speak a bit of Fanti, a bit. So what am I? I'm a multi.
You're a multi.
Good.
You see the reason I said by default every Ghanaian becomes like a multilingual because the country itself has over 200 languages. When I was in my research, apparently we had over 200 languages. Ghana alone. I don't know how. Probably the dialects were added to it as part of the languages. Who knows?
Okay. Then students, you remain learning with English forever. So which of these 200 are you picking? Are you combining them? Are there any benefits?
If you speak another language in addition to or if you're bilingual, it improves your social life. Because when I say improves your social life, you're able to open up to a new range of people. I think we've talked about this earlier when we're talking about the kids one. So as an adult, if you are speaking 2 language socially, you are able to connect with 2 people. You're not restricted to your own set of group. That's how language barrier we have broken. Because imagine in Ghana with this over 200 languages set, we all speak only our local languages. You end up being enclosed to the kind of people who speak one language because you're unable to communicate with the others. But then since we speak at least multi and then we are diverse and then we are all picking up our languages or another person's language, we are able to communicate and then with each other, and then it helps us, it enhances our social skills, and it builds this kind of confidence. Because if I can speak English and then if I can speak English or another language, you realize that how do I put it? I'm able to relate with someone who speaks another language.
Yeah.
Or if we understand something, you realize that is so nice. So
yeah. All right. I think if you speak someone else's language, that you, for example, you go to the market, you're going to buy something from a local market, and you go and, please, how much is this? If it's 20 pesos, they'll say it's 20 cedis.
Sure.
Then say, hey, I do well as and it's an international price. So all right, so please don't be like me, okay? Learn more. All right, so Selassie is saying that it is your friend Selassie at GIJ.
Oh, Selassie,
right. Hi, Selassie. All right, so we're talking languages. You have any experience of these? Alex, have you ever been bullied with language before? Have you ever scream wherever you are? Scream, they will hear.
Oh my God.
All right, so Alex is here in the studios. We will not capture him, okay? Or we should.
Should we?
Should I steal my? Okay. All right, so So that is Alex. Okay, he's here in the studio and he speaks 7 languages.
You've not switched or you've not done a transition.
Oh my word! All right, so this is Alex. Sorry, I was still showing us. So so this is Alex. Alex 7 languages and he's here. Okay, so Alex, have you ever been bullied with language before? So countless. Okay, so Alex is saying countless. So it's not.
Despite the number of languages you speak, you realize that you find yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's because you can't just speak all the languages. Like there are so many languages in the world, you can't just speak all. So no matter how you can speak 10, it's still not all. Even in Ghana alone, there are like 200. So imagine speaking like international ones, and so language. It just helps you break this kind of barrier between two people. So, but you can't, if you can speak all the languages, like kudos to you. But then
I think people are having fun in the chat session. Okay, so someone is trying to answer Selassie. Which one is saying that Selassie? I guess you are Localingual. It says I speak 5 local languages, and so which one is telling him that he is a Localingual?
Oh my god.
And then Selassie is saying I'm working on my French and I'll be sex. Okay. So until then you are still Localingual. Oh my god.
A new term, Localingual.
Yeah, Localingual.
So speaking another language, according to research, can make you more attractive.
Okay.
So it says that being bilingual boosts your confidence in the dating market. So a Valentine's Day survey done by a language software provided by Rocket Languages revealed that 70% of the people think someone who is bilingual is more attractive.
Oh, okay.
While 77% perceive people as more intelligent if they speak another language. Okay. So you speak another language, like a language in addition to yours, makes you attractive, intelligent, and all that. So, he can as well.
So I guess that is why, you know, anytime my uncle speaks Spanish, okay, and anytime we go out, okay, and let's say we're sitting at the table eating, and he starts making a phone call. You know, I don't speak. And then they come, they'll attend to him. Please, what will you say? Okay. So my tea is not making me attractive. Okay. You never can be why. All right. So I think talking about that, which of the languages? They said one of the languages is sexy. Which one of?
I think I heard Spanish.
Spanish, okay.
I think because of the like that kind of.
Oh, okay.
The flavor, but I like it.
Okay. But in Ghana, do you have anyone that is?
I've not heard of anyone. What I've heard is those who are fancy some for them and I think I've heard Elwes, but I think Elwes do well with picking up other languages, but not really. Teaching, should I say teaching others? Because they assume as they speak, you should understand automatically, or you should pick it up and then learn.
Okay.
So that is their way of teaching you their language, and then they speak your language, and then they speak English. So you realize that you didn't need to learn their language.
It's true. Don't waste time on us.
It's not like, you know, the guys are like, they compel you to learn their language because they don't want to move out from their own whole language thing. So
okay. I think Nanajwa is asking, is that one of my questions has not been answered yet?
Which is?
Okay. Nanajwa, which one? Let me try and see if I can get it. When and where do I pick it up? The job card. If it's that one, let me know. And then you asked, can you give me Alex's job card rather than Esi's own? All right, so I get it. Alex is hitting 7 and you are hitting 6. Okay, so +1. So let's see if that is the first question, then I think don't worry, I'll WhatsApp it to you. The one is what I can't answer, but you get it. All right, so we're talking about languages today. Okay, share your experience with us. If someone has ever bullied you with any language, let us know. Okay, Frank is trying to answer. Frank is saying that Frafra is sexy. I tell you, Bilika. Then you respond, Naba. Yeah, I know. Bilika. Yeah. Okay, Tuma. So Frank, once you've mentioned the Frafra, I believe you Tuma.
I don't know.
Okay, Tuma means like what? If you're working on the one is like here we say a juma like that is Tuma.
Oh.
And then I know Kasim, if you want to say like here we say Kokora, is Koko too.
Oh, I see.
And then how much is Bagra?
Should I pick Fafa as my next targeted language to study?
Fafa and then Kasim, they are nice.
But
Kasim,
it's
Kasim
Fafa a language. I thought it was Kasim, and then people ended up saying Fafa and then became Fafa because I don't know.
No. Kasim is Navrongo, and then the Fafa Boga.
The guy who claimed he was not a bilingual multilingual is teaching me. Oh my!
so it's Frank brought this up. Frank
and it exposed you.
No, it's just I just know the words. That's all.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all.
Nice.
I just know the words. So Priscilla is saying that Espanol is really sexy. Hey. All right, let's learn more. Is there any, because our time is almost up?
We're actually done, but then there's some research, like psychologists have been interested in how bilinguals shape the mind for most of the century because of the positives, and then apparently there might be a disadvantage to it. They are yet still they are doing those kind of research. So there are just speculations that if there is really a disadvantage, one has to suppress one language to be able to speak another. And with such a research, I look at Ghana and I'm like, should it be a disadvantage? And you're telling us to suppress one language. What language are we suppressing to pay the other? So it becomes a whole thing. And then I don't the way, like the Alzheimer's disease that we said earlier, realize that Ghanaians do not suffer from that kind of thing. From research, we don't really suffer. So it could be that it is true that speaking more than two languages or more than one language really boosts the brain, so you don't get dementia or Alzheimer's disease. But they would still have to do more research on that. So if you have, as like our listeners out there, if they know anything we don't know about when it comes to these things, we'll be glad to know, because researchers for the past 3 decades are trying to figure out if speaking more than one language is a disadvantage. Because bilinguals of different ages and cultural backgrounds have been shown to be faster and more accurate than the monolinguals. And one thing about monolinguals is they do not really want to learn any other language in addition to theirs. So especially the monolinguals who speak only English. Like, because English has become so diverse and majority of us, wherever you come from, speak English. They are not really interested in studying another language. So it becomes, so one main point of criticism is that maybe they are better, maybe we are better. It's still up for discussion. Anything, why not?
All right. So I think there's a question here. Should one study a new language he or she likes, or based on their career choice or education?
I believe in doing what you love, but then what you love should be connected to your career choice or option. Because if, let's say, I want to study French, but with my career choice, it has nothing to do. Like you have to find a linking path to what you want, unless you want to study the language as a hobby. Because when I started studying Korean, it was like a hobby. It was to understand the Korean drama I watch, and I didn't want to wait for like hours for subtitles. It was really because the movie drops at 2:00 here because of the 9 hours difference, and I have to wait for like the following day to read. I'm like, for real? So I had to sit down and then study the language so I understand the subtitles. So I watch it without subtitles now, and I'm okay. So that was my motivation.
All right, for the love of the movies.
Exactly.
So for the love of the game. Okay.
So you should do something like you should study a language for your own passion, or if you want to do it for career, you can study 2 languages simultaneously.
Okay.
I studied Korean, and then the Spanish was because my dad was like, Korean, no, the Korean then. So the Spanish was like some kind of cover up this hand.
All right. Okay. So Nanaja is saying I'll choose Hausa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, can you give us one Alex speaks Hausa.
Okay, it's part of his 5 local languages.
Yes, Alex fluently.
Good. Good morning. How is that said?
Please do write Hausa.
Yes.
So he reads, writes, speaks, dances, barks, in fact, eats. So I think you asked the question. Good morning.
Good morning, Hausa. Sunday. Oh, I've heard
Sunday.
it so many times. How come I didn't know it was good morning?
Okay. Kolafia. That's the most common aside Allah and that Kolafia is the most common. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Nanajwa, you're right. Okay. Hausa is sexy, but no, Alex is Hausa sexy.
It's so dramatic.
Oh my word. So if you have any experience with languages, let us know. Okay, we here, and I'm in between people who are multilingual, and I'm here. I speak only 1.5, and
2.
I feel so.
Today that has been refuted. You speak more than 2 languages. At least you have elementary of all languages, and I don't think you would really struggle should you find yourself in those.
No, it's just worse.
Because it's just worse.
Okay, I think when my uncle came from Cuba first, okay, I was staying with him, and then he had this this book with English and then Spanish. Okay, and I started reading. He didn't want to teach me because of some weird reasons. And then one day he was there, he said something. I said, ¿Qué pasó? And then he said, I'm packing all my books. And that was all. So because of K, I just said ¿Qué pasó? He said that is the end. So I just left it there. So we still here. It's Tell Me About It with Esi K. Today we asking, are you a bilingual or a multilingual? Tell us about it. Our time is almost up. Is there any more to learn?
No, as we are ending, just like we began, so we are drawing curtains to today's episode, and I hope you were able to get something or nothing, who knows, out of it. So we are grateful you were able to join us today to learn more of the benefits of languages, and you can as well rewatch if you missed some part of the beginning. And I'm saying and in the long run, we are grateful you tuned in to listen to us rant and talk about languages. Yeah.
All right. So you know how we do it. Just Tell Me About It with Esi K. The video will still be up there, okay? But if you could not send in your question, you cannot send in your contribution, still send it, okay, in the comment section of the video. If we realize that there's a new comment, we'll tackle it the next week before we start that day's session, okay? So I want to say a very big thank you and God bless you. Let me try mentioning names of those who sent in their comments, okay? So if you did not send yours, your name will not be mentioned. Prisla, thank you. Richmond, thank you. Courage, thank you. Nanajwa, thank you. Derek, thank you. Selassie, thank you. Have I mentioned Richmond? Yeah. Okay. Richmond, I don't know why I mentioned your name so many times. Thank you and God bless you. Please, if you did not hear your name, means that your comments was not seen. So
you might as well leave it.
Yeah. So let's connect same time this week on here.
And you can follow our socials on PenyGH on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or you can as well send topics you are curious about, ideas you are curious about that you would want us to deal to my DM on either Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, wherever it is. I'm Esi K Aqua everywhere. So you can just search for Esi K Aqua everywhere, and then you find me, and then you just DM whatever it is you have. Yeah, and then the language, so you can as well DM. Who knows? Sure.
Who knows? So if you have any questions, any topic you want us to treat, anything you want us to tell you about,
or you want to tell us about?
Yeah, tell us about it before we tell you. Okay. You know her handles. Esi K Aqua. Alright, not aqua as in water, but aqua as in fancy. Alright, so let's meet next week. God bless you. It's been a wonderful moment with you. You are so wonderful people, and we love you all. So okay, so Priscilla is saying Sarang. What is Sarange?
Sarange, I love you.
Oh, okay. Sarange, Esi K, okay.
Kamsahamnida, Nadu Sarange.
Alright, so we love you all. Stay safe and enjoy the weekend. Please take good care of yourself, okay? We're out of here like that. It's a bye for now.
You live on Peny Radio, your number one online Christian radio station. Peny Radio, hope for the hopeless.
Your 3 pages really work. Your 3 pages really work. Yeah, I did 3 pages today too, like you said.
Yeah.
By other pages in case. Yeah. But 3 pages now, 3 now, then I'll have to cut. Yeah. And I want us to really work on the second segment.
Peny Radio.
Because the second segment is where we are supposed